John, waiting for your meeting.
Yeah, before we start, remember Carol's been doing presentation.
No. Yeah, yeah, you got it all set. Don't worry, Brian, you got it. Can we call the meeting to order, please? Can everyone rise? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cell phones. What?
Dick will do it.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the 2026 Town of Canton Town Meeting. Before we start this meeting officially, I would like to recognize an individual who has served on the board for around 14 years. Most of those years were as the chair. Brian has decided to step down. He didn't run for re-election. Brian, on behalf of the entire town, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude for your service on our select board. Your dedication and service to our town has and continues to be outstanding. Serving on the board, as you well know, is no small task. It requires some late nights, some very tough decisions, and a steadfast commitment to saving money while also keeping the town running efficiently. Over the years, you've served as the selectman's liaison to the budget committee. You've demonstrated time and time again that you know what really makes each and every one of these departments run in this town, and that skill is going to be sorely missed by the board. You spearheaded moving the town office and purchasing a new highway garage. And I'm sure everybody will long remember your activities for the Bicentennial Committee and your fundraising activities for that event as well. You have brought not only expertise, but also your passion and wisdom to the table. And you have held us accountable as a town and helped us grow as a town. While we are sad to see your time on the board end, we are grateful for the mark that you've left with us and would always welcome you back. Lucky for all of us, Brian might be leaving the select board, but he's going to remain very active in the rec committee. So I invite you all to visit Brian at the rec committee, where he's the snack shack.
Yeah, come to the snack shack.
Yes, it's a snack shack where he's raising money for the rec committee. So if you wouldn't mind, join me in offering Brian a heartfelt thank you for. Speech. Okay.
What are you gonna do in your spare time?
Rec department. I'll be in the snack shack.
Okay. Webster defines dedicated as devoted to a task or purpose, having a single-minded loyalty or integrity. Dedication is defined as the quality of being dedicated or committed to a task or purpose. This year's recipient of the Steve and Lisa Wills Memorial Citizenship Award has taken these two definitions to a higher level. Sleeping in his truck during one of our mini floods so he had quicker access to his job, being taken to the site by the fire department's rescue boat, checking on equipment 7 days a week, even though he never put that on his time card, always trying to make systems work with least possible financial expenditures. In today's world, it's nearly unheard of to have a municipal employee stay in the same job for over 36 years. Not only stay in the job, but to take the utmost pride in his work and the facilities. As his liaison, I often joke with him that you could eat off the ground at the plant. Not that I'd recommend it. A blade of grass wouldn't dare grow out of place on his watch. During his tenure, he saved the town of Canton an untold amount of money by thinking out of the box. For these reasons and many more, the Board of Selectmen are pleased to present the 2026 Steve and Lisa Wills Memorial Citizenship Award to Dave Madison. Congratulations and thank you on the job well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all, sir.
Thank you.
Good news, Robin.
In addition, his name is going on the honor roll plaque as a 36-year employee. Hey, this goes to you.
That's good, all right.
Yeah. Here you go, sir.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Dave. I'd like to review the results of Tuesday's elections for our local positions. We had 2 open select board seats. Carol Ferris had 180 votes, Joshua Stearns had 189, and we actually had 21 write-in votes. Congratulations, Josh and Carol.
Welcome aboard,
Planning-
Josh.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Planning board position, we had 1 position open and Diane ran unopposed, 217 votes and 11 write-ins. And Natalie Sneller ran for our 1 school board position. She had 231 votes with 4 write-ins. So congratulations to everyone and thank you for the turnout. I also want to thank our election clerks. Without them, we would not be in and out of here as early as we have been the last few years, so I do appreciate it. So, Dick, I'm turning the floor over to you.
Good evening. My name is Dick Pickett. You might know the name. I'm not sure. I used to be the state representative for 8 years. Before that, I was drove around the car with bubbles on the top. But anyways, it's been a while since I've been down here, but I'd like to congratulate the 2 recipients of these awards for, and I don't know this gentleman that well, but I know Brian quite well, and I know everything that was said was certainly an earmark of what he is, so appreciate that. I just got a couple of housekeeping things I want to take care of before we get started into the actual meeting. I hope that everything will go smoothly, and I hope that we're able to take and get through this rather not quickly, but we want everybody to have the opportunity to say whatever they want to say. Obviously, that's the main goal, but what I'd like to first of all do is ask you, if you do have a cell phone, if you would either turn it down on buzzer or whatever you want to call it there, or turn it down completely. And if you do get a call that you have to take, if you could just step outside so that we can keep the meeting going, that would really help us a lot. I want you all to be patient, respectful, and considerate of others. I've been to town meetings before where it's got out of control. I've been in select board meetings where it's got out of control because I'm the chair of a board, so I know that can happen. So let's just be patient, respectful, and considerate of others. And when you get up to speak to me as the moderator, not another person or a town official that's in attendance. And please, if you do refer in your debate, if you do refer to a town official, speak to them as a select board member rather than just who they are by their first name, okay? And when you're recognized, please stand up. And I don't think we really have to stand up now because we're close quarters, but in some of the bigger places we do. But just say your name so that they can get it on the record. If you're going to make a motion so they can get that, and whoever seconds that, make sure you say your name as well so that they can get it. And as we get going, probably you know most of everybody here anyways. We'll probably be all set. No person will be allowed to address the same subject more than 3 times without the express permission of either the moderator, or we can take, if I decide that what you have, it's worth taking a vote, we can take 2/3 of the people here and that are actually here, not the ones that voted, but 2/3 that are here. If they say it's okay for to go that 3rd time, you can, but after that time, that's it. And the thing is, if you're gonna speak that 3rd time or any time, it's got to be germane to what we're talking about. Because if not, we could be here a long time. I don't know if there's any non-residents here today that are interested in speaking. If there isn't, you don't have to take care of that then. I will be tonight, as we go through the warrant. I will be guided by the main moderator's manual. and that's what we'll go with. So again, my name is Dick Pickett, and I really appreciate this opportunity to, be here for the, to do the, moderating for your meeting. So I think we have to start with Article 3, fine, correct?
Yes.
And what I'll do, and I'm gonna also say something too, when we get into the articles where there's a number of different places there where the select board recommends this and the budget committee recommends this, and there's a whole line of. What I'd like to do, if there's any differences between the two bodies in their recommendation, I will make that known, but other than that, if everything is the same and the bottom line is the same on both sides, then I will just entertain a motion to that. I'll read it and I'll say what the motion, what the recommendations are by both, and then we just all you gotta do is get up and you need to say, I take the recommendation of the select board of the budget committee. So Article 3, to see if the town will vote to allow the select board to appropriate the money raised for overlay to pay tax abatements and applicable interest granted during the fiscal year beginning in July 1st, 2026.
So moved.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second that one, from Richard Wright.
Okay. Well, you got the first one, okay. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, hold up your little card. All those opposed, motion carries. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to authorize the tax collector to accept prepayments of the taxes not yet committed pursuant to 36 MRSA subsection 506 and to pay 0% on prepayments.
So.
Move.
Second.
Name,
Thank you,
please.
Chair.
Okay, and
Second.
second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 6. To see if, 5, I'm sorry. I have my marks one ahead here. To see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to expend from the undesignated fund balance to meet unanticipated expenses and emergencies that may occur during the fiscal year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved
Second.
and seconded. Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 6. To see if the town will vote to authorize the select board on behalf of the town to enter into multi-year contracts, leases, lease purchase agreements, and interlocal agreements in the name of the town if it is deemed in the best interest of the town. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
That's it.
Who seconded?
They're all good.
Yeah.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article, oh, they're gonna thing these are on here. I'm going right down to 15, must have done it the wrong way. That wouldn't be good, would it?
Get through their facts.
Now all I gotta do is get them in the right direction here so I can, do what's gotta happen. Now, I should have. I don't know what I did. It's a little embarrassing. Okay, that's the hour on the back. Everybody should have looked at it. I forget that on my copier, I can save money by, taking and doing two-sided prints, but I don't always turn it over. Pay attention. Article 7, to see if the town will authorize the select board on behalf of the town to dispose of tax acquired property via quitclaim deed by either A, offering the property to the former owners, or if they are deceased, to his or her or their heirs. Devices, devices, personal representative for a price equal to all outstanding taxes, interest, fees, and costs. Or B, using the process required by 36 MRSA subsection 943C. Provided that if the board is unable to list or sell the property as required by subsection 943C3, the board may sell the property through a competitive sealed bid process in which a notice advertising sale of the property shall be published at least twice in a newspaper of general circulation in the county. For sales other than to the former owner, excess sale proceeds as defined in 36 MRSA subsection 943C shall be returned to the former owner.
Could you read that again?
If you want to be good again, I will. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 8, see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to apply and accept state and federal grants and grants from organizations on behalf of the town for municipal purposes, including, when necessary, the authority to sign the grant contracts and accept the conditions that accompany grant funds and to appropriate and expend grant funds for the authorized purpose.
So moved.
Moved, second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 9, see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to approve the disposal of equipment and other items deemed unusable or unnecessary during the ensuing fiscal year.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We got second.
Okay. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to set the dates that fiscal year 2026-2027 real estate and real personal property taxes are due as November 5th, 2026 and May 6th, 2027. And to charge interest at the rate of 6% per annum when payment is received 1 day after these dates. Interest shall not be compounded and shall accrue upon delinquent taxes until paid in full per MRSA subsection 505.4.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have any discussion? Yes, ma'am. Your name, please?
Diana, Morris. If a person wanted to, can they just pay both portions like in the fall? So they don't forget and accrue this interest, or you can't get to the town office because you don't get out of work or whatever?
Yeah.
So you can pay early.
So the answer is yes, correct? That's correct.
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yes, to do this.
Who seconded?
I did.
Carol.
Christine first, Carol second.
No, that. There's no further discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 11, see if the town will vote to set the interest rate to be paid by the town on abated taxes at 3% pursuant to 36 MRSA subsection 506A. Do I have a motion?
So,
Greg's got it.
so move, refresh. Rick.
Seconded?
Second.
Carol. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 12, to see if the town will vote to appropriate all the money received from the state for snowmobile registration to the Canton High Riders Snowmobile Club for the maintenance of their systems with snowmobile trails, on condition that those trails are open in snow season to the public for snowmobiling at no charge.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Article 12, to see if the town will vote to appropriate the money received from agencies and ATV resignation, registration to the Canton Trail Riders and the ATV Club for the maintenance of their ATV trails on the condition that those trails open in season to the public to use at no charge.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carried. Article 14, to see if the town will appropriate from the credit reserve undesignated fund the overdrafts to the town accounts as of June 2026.
Motion. That's right.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carried. Article 15. See what sum, if any, the town will vote on to raise and appropriate to the budget committee. The budget committee recommends $1,750 and the selectmen recommend $1,750. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded for the amount. Carol, you made the motion?
I did.
Yeah. For the $1,750.
Yeah, sorry.
Moved and seconded for $1,750. Is there any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I just want to ask if we can maybe do a little bit better job on publishing what the budget committee's schedule is, like what nights. If your organization needs to present a budget, what nights you say be there to present that. Very difficult to figure out how to work out. And I know the schedules are tough. If we try to do a little better job, that's it.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Article 16, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the recreation committee. On grounds and maintenance, there is one difference in the articles, not the articles, but the different things in the columns. Grounds and maintenance, the budget committee recommends $3,000. Selectmen recommend $2,500. So the total recommended by the budget committee is $17,225. By the selectmen is $16,725. So when you make the motion, put in the number of who you're making it for.
I made the motion for $17,225.
Do I have a second on that? Do I have a second on that?
I'll second, Rick.
Okay, motions made and second. Do I have any discussion?
Ryan, you want to step in
Yeah.
on grounds and maintenance?
Okay,
Oh, my.
We do have an explanation as to why there's a difference.
okay,
There's a difference, we're trying to help reduce the overall budget a little bit. So the rec committee decided we would take 500 out of our initial request to drop it down to 16,725. And hope to come up with that through donations or some other avenue.
any further discussion? Matt?
I'm assuming that because you hadn't expended it all by 5/20, that with the baseball season at this time of year, that's probably been expended. And then some.
Can I respond?
Yep,
Yeah, so that money will all be spent before the end of the year. Yeah,
I felt so.
yep.
any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is to take the budget committee's recommendation of $17,225. That's the motion on the floor. All those in favor of that? Keep your hands up. Okay, I've got that. All those opposed? Motion carries. 1725, 225. Okay, Article 17, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for operation of general government. There was no changes between the budget committee and the select board all the way down through the columns. And both the select board and the budget committee recommend $309,650. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I don't believe. That was me
Christine and
and
Brian.
Brian.
Who second?
Brian.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 18, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the operation of the fire department. Going through that, I see no differences between the budget committee and the select board. They both recommend $73,750. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Okay? Do I have any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Why is it 21,000 plus unexpended $5 million?
You have the answer, sir?
Yes,
Go ahead.
because we haven't done payroll yet, that's going out this week, and there's other items that don't want to go be paid by the end of the year.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 19, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the operation of protection and enforcement. Again, no changes between the budget committee or the selectmen. Both are recommending $102,838.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 20, see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the operation of animal control. No changes between either the budget committee or the selectmen. The amount for both is $8,375. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded for $8,375. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 21, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the operation of the planning board. There are two changes or two discrepancies between the two. Under general supplies, budget committee recommends $300, the selectmen recommend $0. Under training and workshops, the budget committee recommends $300 and the select board recommends $200. So the budget committee's recommendation is $5,150 and the selectmen's recommendation is $4,750. So whoever makes a motion, put the number in there for me, please. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to go with the selectmen's recommendation at $47.50.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And motion's made and seconded to go with the selectmen's recommendation of $4,750. Do I have any discussion?
Here, do we hear somebody from planning board talking about the training? The differences, general supplies.
Is there anybody here from the planning
Yes,
board?
well, I think the town office now covers all the general supplies, so we don't order them separately. And all of the planning board members have been through training last year, which is why we were over budget last year. I think it's been good for a while. And good budgets, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, Diane.
any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries at $4,750. Article 22, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the operation of public works.
Surprise, yes.
And there is one change between the two. And that's some supplies and which are gas and diesel.
Mhm.
The planning board, and the budget committee recommends 40,000 for that, for the gas and diesel. The select board recommends 30,000. So the figures are $325,475 is recommended by the budget committee, and $315,475 is recommended by the select board. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to go with the select board amount of $3,315,475.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
That $16,000 increase is largely utilities. I'm just trying to figure out where the increase came from.
Gas and diesel.
Diesel.
All fuel.
All fuel.
I think a little bit of electricity too, though. I remember
Yeah.
that, which goes back to the fuel.
Can I make an amendment?
He signed backwards.
Did that answer your questions?
It did, thank you.
Okay. Motion's on the floor, but if you want to make a motion to make an amendment, you can.
Make a motion to make an amendment to increase the diesel line from 30,000 to 40,000. Under the selectmen's recommendation, so it would be the same as the budget committee, 325,475.
We'll have a second to that motion.
I will amend my first and go with
So
that.
that motion has been made and seconded. Now, what we have to do is we have to vote on the amendment.
Yep.
So if you want the amendment, if you want the additional 10,000 put back in to make it 40,000 to agree, you vote yes on the amendment. But if you don't, you'll vote no on that. Once we get that taken care of, then we go back to the primary motion, which was what I gave you the first time. And we'll vote on that. So that being said, the motion in front of us is you want to take and Brian wants to take and the figure he wants to recommend, or his motion is for $325,475, which is adding another 10,000 to the gas and diesel line to make it agree with the budget committee. So if you're in favor of that, is there any other discussion first on it? Yes, sir.
When the budget committee looked at this back in March, our recommendation was 20,000. But then in May, when we went back to it, the fuel prices between March and May had doubled. We actually recommended 40,000. And I guess it didn't get into the final warrant, but that was our original recommendation. So it matches what the amended, was proposed.
You guys were at 40,000.
Yeah,
You had 40.
You were at,
Yeah,
yes,
you have 40 on it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had 40 in there. Any other discussion? So we're voting on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment? The amendment passes, so therefore now we will go and we'll add that $10,000 to the primary motion. So now, the primary motion I will read, it will be the $325,475. That's gonna be the amount that you're voting on, because that 10,000 gets pushed into the primary. You don't have to redo that primary motion. You just have to add whatever it is, or take away whatever that is from that motion. So that's where we are. We have $325,475 is the amount in this for public works. So do I have any discussion on that? If not, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries at that amount. Not trying to confuse you, but I just want to make sure we do this. Problems later on. Thank you. Article 23, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the operation of the transfer station. And there are no differences between the select board and the budget committee. And they both recommend $132,700. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second,
I do not.
second, we'll do this. Moved and seconded, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 24, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the following professional services. Under professional services, both the select board and the budget committee recommend $62,360.
So moved. Second.
Second. So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. To see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for expenses related to general assistance and to appropriate any state reimbursements against expenses related to general assistance. State reimburses the town for 70% of the expenses. There is no difference between the budget committee and the selectmen. They both recommend $4,650.
So moved.
Second.
Sorry.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Question, so 4650 is our net, so you could actually expend more than that, they reimburse 70% back to this amount as a total expended amount. That's what I'm thinking.
Can you repeat your question, please?
So the net money that we pay is 4650, so you could actually spend more than that, the state reimburses 70% back, so that at the end of the day, the net that the budget to spend after that reimbursement is 4650.
Your
No, she's correct.
No, she's correct.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm misunderstanding
Yeah.
what she's asking.
Yeah, you can have more expense than that because 70% of that is.
Take it from the back, yeah.
Yes.
So
Just
your
the
budget,
This is our 30.
the budget total stays the same, because that, what went in the budget, that 4650 is going to stay there.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Article 26, see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the maintenance of town buildings. Again, no difference in the budget committee and the selectmen, they both recommend $29,000.
So moved.
Second.
Move in second to get both. Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion. Article 27, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for debt services. There is a couple of changes here in the budget and the selectmen. Under the Staples Hill project, the budget committee recommends $20,039 and the select board recommends $36,350. Under the road bonds, the budget committee recommends $91,800 and the select board recommends $78,900. Those two things are different. The last one is the same. So the total that the budget committee is recommending is $135,489. The select board is recommending $38,900. So I'll entertain a motion.
It's complicated.
It is.
I move to take the selectmen's recommendation for the Staples Hill project and the excavator and the budget committee's recommendation for the road bond.
I'll
I can add it up.
So we can
That-
ask questions.
Yeah, that was,
I'll add it up.
it isn't the adding up of it. We got two recommendations, so you've got to come up with a figure.
Right.
And then, you give me that figure for that motion, and we know what you're doing here, and just what, again, when you give the motion, explain what the motion is with the figure on it, again, so everybody understands it.
151,800. Yeah.
151,800.
151,800. So if you can make the the motion again and put the number in it, in your motion, and also at the same time, explain, when we get into discussion, you can explain it, okay?
Okay, I'll do my best. I move to appropriate $151,800 for debt services.
Correct. Do I have a second to that?
Second,
Motion has been made and seconded for $151,800 in for the debt service. Any discussion? I'm gonna let her explain it first. She's wanted, her hand was going up. Do you explain, just explain again what you're doing?
Sure, so we were trying to get the right numbers in the right columns and ultimately didn't, and that's on us. I believe, based on talking with the treasurer, the Staples Hill project number in the selectmen's column is correct. And the excavator column in the selectmen's, excavator value in the selectmen's column is correct. But the road bond number is incorrect in the selectmen's column. We believe the budget committee's column is correct.
I've got them written behind you now.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the explanation of it. Yes, sir.
Is this paying off the Staples Hill project?
No, that is in,
28.
yeah,
We're close.
yeah,
Both that and the road bond are both 28, I believe.
yes. And this will be the final excavator payment.
What is the road bond cover?
It was, when we did all of the side roads just a few years ago.
There was the 750,000 that we took out a few years ago.
Any other discussion? I saw a lot of hands up, one the first time. Anybody else have any other discussion?
So this was basically just two numbers got trans in the wrong place.
We had the information coming in at the last minute, so I think we got clarification on the road bond and it didn't get clarified here. And
So what you got for the record, you're not taking either recommendation, you're taking a motion made by a select person putting the numbers where they should have been and coming up with the total that they wanted in the first place, correct?
151,800.
151,800 is the total. And that's what we're doing. That's why it's not you're not taking a recommendation from either one because you're taking a new motion which you made correctly. Okay. Carol's got it down with the red marker, so we know exactly what we're doing. So therefore, any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor for the 151,800? Okay. Motion carried. Article 28, see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for town improvements. There are no differences between the budget committee or the select board. They both recommend $6,825.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carried. Article 29, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for Vanderstogen Home Health. Both the select board and the budget committee recommends $500.
Nope,
No,
Yeah.
no,
No,
this is asking for a number because the select board and the budget committee did not recommend social services.
okay,
this
so all
is-
that, that's right, there is no recommendation on either one of them, that's
Yeah.
right, okay. So you're looking for an actual number?
correct.
Yes.
Okay, because there was a number down below as a total, which would tell me that was the number that you wanted.
Yeah,
That was the amount requested.
That was the, okay,
Yeah.
so on all of these, the bottom number is what was requested by each one of them,
Sometimes.
On the social services.
okay.
And there's also the packet that was available that explains all of their wish list and why.
Okay, everybody all clear on that? Okay, so looking for a number, so I'm looking for a motion. It can be anything from 0 to where you wanna go.
And
I'm moving, we appropriate $500 to Aaron Strong.
We have a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Put your hands up again, please. Put yours down now. Any opposed? Three opposed. Okay, 10-3, 10 gets it. $500. Article 30, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for rural community action ministries. I take it this is the same thing?
Yes.
It's gonna be the same thing all the way down on every one of them, correct?
Or just
So
pay
the
it.
requested amount was for $2,000, but there's no recommendation for you. They're leaving it up to you to decide what you want to do. So I'll entertain a motion if someone wants to make one.
To make a motion to, appropriate $1,000 for our camp. 1,000.
Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to appropriate $1,000 for that, for community action ministries, rural community action ministries. Any discussion?
Yes. The food pantry has already received $3,000 from RCAM. And they received seeds and seedlings. I would prefer that we give them what they asked for, because they've given us more than they're asking.
Any other discussion? And did you want to make that as an amendment to the motion, which you can?
And
So you're amending the primary motion of $1,000
the
to
$2,000 they.
$2,000, correct? I'm right. Do I have a second on that amendment? Do I have a second on the amendment? Good, vote for that. Okay, so there was an amendment on the floor. Any discussion on the amendment? Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering if anybody had the history on what they've contributed to the town. It's not just last year, but do we generally get, no,
What?
we don't have that history. It's in the package.
Oh, just what they've, historically what they've contributed?
Yeah.
I don't, somebody else might.
Does anyone have any information in that they could help out with that? So the motion on the floor is an amendment to the primary motion. So if you vote for the amendment, then you're increasing the primary motion by $1,000 and putting it up to the requested amount for $2,000. If you vote that in, if you shoot it down, it will revert back to the $1,000 of its first motion, okay? So again, we're gonna vote now on the amendment as the amount of $2,000. All those in favor? You can hands up. Okay, got that. All those opposed? Eighteen to 6, the motion fails. We're reverting now back to the primary motion, which was for $1,000. Is there any further discussion on the $1,000? Seeing none, all those in favor of $1,000 for the community action, rural community action ministries, raise your hand. All those opposed? Motion carries. Article 31, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for community concepts. The request was for $625. I'll entertain a motion.
You can always motion zero.
You can also make a motion to pass over.
Right.
Does anyone want to make a motion on this, on a dollar sum?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to pass over.
Okay. I think what would be even better than that, for the record, we can do whatever you want, we can either pass over, but I don't really like to do the passover. I really think, I think what you can do where this is an open, you can go from 0 to 500, I mean, in this case, you can go to 0, whatever you want. I think it would be cleaner for the record if someone recommend, motion $0 in a second and vote it that way.
Like-
I'm just suggesting it, I'm
Yeah.
not telling you have to.
I make a motion for $0 for community concepts.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And motion is made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion now is for $0 for community concepts.
It would be useful if someone from the organizations came and explained why how they were going to spend $625 or whatever they're asking for.
And
They have in the past.
yeah, you're actually right, and I know being a select board member in another town, they come, we invite them to come, and if they come, then we figure if they come, they give us a recommendation, we take that into consideration, but if they don't come, we figure that, yeah. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but that's what we do.
Carolyn, did you get the packet of letters that
Oh,
folks requested?
gotten to that yet, that's at the back.
If you turn to the one that says community concepts up on the left-hand side, it will tell you what they're doing.
Okay.
What they're promising to do, what they've done in the past.
Okay, we voted it, we haven't voted it.
No, we haven't.
We haven't voted. Any further discussion on it?
So we're voting on 0.
Yeah, seeing none, what you're voting for is a motion to give $0 to community concepts. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 32, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for seniors. That's the requested amount was $1,000.
I moved that the appropriate $1,000 that requested.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Moved and seconded for $1,000. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Was that for $1,000?
Yeah.
$1,000. Article 33, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for River Valley Healthy Communities. And we have, the budget committee, apparently the budget committee didn't get the request because there's $0 in there.
No, that is approved and expended.
I was gonna say that should be, because I've got $0 under the,
Expended.
So,
oh, my.
They didn't ask for
They
any
didn't
last
have
year.
it. I'm sorry. That's off the hook, my mistake. I keep forgetting that we're not doing the thing between the two, so the amount requested by them was $200. I'll entertain a motion.
I move the requested amount of $200.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Moved and seconded for $200, the requested amount. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in
Yeah.
favor? Opposed? Carried. Article 34, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for River Valley Chamber of Commerce. Requested amount, $1,000.
Make a motion for 0.
I second.
Would you say?
Made a motion for 0.
Okay.
Motion's been made for 0 and seconded. So right now, the motion on the floor is to give $0 to the River Valley Chamber of Commerce. They were asking for 1,000. So is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, you're voting for $0 if you vote to pass this motion. All those in favor? Motion carries. $0.
Yes. Thank you.
Article 35, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for Safe Voices.
I moved to appropriate $300 for safe horses.
Well, what?
$300.
$300 for Safe Voices? Okay. Do I have a second to that motion? The second. There. Okay. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of $300 for safe voices? Motion passes. Article 36, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for Cancer Resource Center of Western Maine. The requested amount was $250. I'll entertain a motion. What's the amount you want,
Oh, $250.
$250. Motion made for $250. Do I have a second?
I'll look at that.
Second that?
Okay.
So we have a motion and seconded for $250, the requested amount. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by raising your card. Opposed? Motion carries. To see what sum, Article 37, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for Helping Hearts of Western Maine. The requested amount is $500. Motion has been made for zero. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded for $0. Any discussion? Again, if you vote this motion, you're giving $0 to the Helping Hearts of Western Maine. All those in favor? Motion carries. Article 38, see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for Levin Library.
Now-
Requested amount, $500.
In both budget and select have recommended five.
We're back to this.
Go back to having
That's
recommended.
right, we're back to recommended, that's right. Budget and the select board both recommend 500. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion for 1,000.
Motion is on the floor for 1,000. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Made and seconded.
I have a question.
Okay, yes. Go ahead.
Oh, but the library requested 500?
Yes.
And your question is, you want to know why 1,000?
That's a good question.
I kind of figured that. You want that?
I just think it's a valuable, facility for the kids and the adults in the community. I know there's quite a few people from the town who utilize that library.
I agree with you on that, but my thought is that if the organization is asking for 5, perhaps we should give them what they asked for.
Any further discussion on the motion?
Make a motion to amend the figure to $500. As
Okay.
recommended by the selectmen and the budget committee.
So,
Motion has been made and seconded to amend the $1,000 to $500.
I know.
And so what we're doing again is we're taking the amendment. We're not taking the primary motion, but we're doing this for $1,000. So depending what we do on the amendment will tell us what we're gonna do on the primary motion. So the primary motion is to provide $500 to the library. That's what you're voting on right now. If you want to give $500 instead of 1,000 to 11 library, you'll vote yes. If you don't, you'll vote no. So all those in favor of the, okay, I guess guess we don't have to say those opposed. So the amendment carries. So the amendment now goes into the primary motion because it cuts that back to $500. So now you're voting, the next time you vote now, you're voting for the $500 as the primary motion, which will go to the library. Because we have to take the 1,000 that was motioned on that motion, now been amended to 500, and we have not voted on the primary motion yet. And if you don't vote on the primary motion, then nothing happens on that article, it's just like it never happened. So now you're voting to give you're voting right now on $500 for the library and the primary motion. Is there any discussion on that before we vote? All those in favor? Motion carries, $500. Article 39, see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for Lake Anna Zung.
And
I gotta tell you this, I have a doctor that I go to, her name is Dr. Leah, and I can't do it, and nobody in the building even has a clue what her last name is, so she's just known as Dr. Leah. So this is known as Lake.
Can't wait.
So anyways, to see what sum of money the request, no, not the request, the budget committee, recommended $500 and the select board recommends $0. I'll entertain a motion.
I motion that the town approve $1,250 to Lake and Cook Association,
$1,450
$250.
is the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, $1,250 is the primary motion. And it's been made and seconded, discussion.
Can I explain? What? The Lake Association takes water samples every month, sometimes several times a month, all year round, and they send that off to state testing, and there's a cost associated with that. Hartford also contributes to that cost because we share the lake. Since the time the request was put in at $1,500, because we were anticipating a grant, which we have since gotten. The Lake Association got their grant. They're asking Hartford to match a portion of it, and they're asking Canton to match a portion of it. Well, and that would be for a watershed survey next year. Last time we did a watershed survey was about 8 or 9 years ago. It needs to be redone, and that looks and identifies all the spots where there's a lot of runoff going into the lake. Because we don't want green slime, we don't want our lake to deteriorate. And I do have to tell you that global warming is increasing a lot of bad things in the lake, slowly. But I sit in these lake meetings around the state, and people are spending millions of dollars to get rid of algae blooms and invasive plants, and so far we can kind of keep our fingers crossed that we're keeping the lake reclaimed. So.
Any other discussion or comments before we go?
You go ahead.
I'd like to amend that to 500, which would be just the social service request, not the grant match.
Okay, yep, so the amendment is for $500, so that.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to go to $500. So now we have the same thing again, we're voting on a amendment, not the primary motion. So if you vote yes on the amendment, it'll be dropped down to $500 and we'll have to vote on it again. If you vote no on the amendment, then it goes back to $1,250, and that's what we would be voting on next. Does everybody understand that? So you're voting right now for an amendment which would cut it back to $500. All those in favor? Leave your hands up, please. Okay, you can put your hands down. All those opposed? Eleven to 9, then the 11 to 9 defeats the amendment. So we're back to $1,250 on the lake, but you can say it again if you want. We're back to $1,250. Any further discussion on that? The primary motion stays at that amount.
I have some questions.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not quite sure how the town people can donate money. I say donate for lack of a better word, as a grant match. I guess I thought there were other ways that we had to go about doing grant matches.
Like, I think what's happened here is because of the way these are written, they have these are just recommended. These are not solid figures that you have in there. You're recommending a number.
Mhm.
But you're not saying that the town, the town was gonna give this amount of money, and if you had a fee like that, if you had that figure there, then that figure could only go down, not up. But the way these are written, it can go whichever way they go with it. So right now, the $1,250 is still available to go for that, and that was the primary motion. So that's where we are. You can still vote that down if you want. But I mean, that motion is a legal motion.
I guess I'm more concerned about the town agreeing to grant match a grant that we don't have any paperwork on, we don't know anything about. We've just received
And-
one sentence explaining, not even explaining what it was, just it was a grant.
Yeah, and I understand that, and that's why we're gonna have a discussion on it, and if there's. I would think that you would wanna have a good discussion on it, you just want to determine what you wanna do. I'm not saying that 1250, that you shouldn't vote on it, because that's on the floor right now, we're in discussion on it, and when there's no more discussion on it, we're gonna take a vote on it. So is there any further discussion? Brian?
I guess I'll kind of go along with Christine's thought, with normally under the social service side of things, we don't do the grant match, we do just a request. And then, in the past, we've had a couple times where we have done a grant match, but it was its own separate article. That stated what the grant was, et cetera. So that's my concern, and that's why I made the amendment to the second, go down to 500.
So I have a question. In the original budget request, it was laid out as those two line items, and they were their separate line items, but the paperwork hadn't come through yet. So is there a process by which the Lake Association could then submit to the select board the request for the match with all the documentation of the grant as a separate process?
I think it had, like 4 years ago, that there was that. And it was a separate warrant article that was just specific to the grant match.
So
So,
we didn't know, by the time the budget had to be put together, we didn't know if we had it or not. Right, so
right, but I believe that was the same on that one too. It was a proposed grant. You knew the figures. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong.
Can move the question.
Yes, and that's not debatable, but we have to get a majority vote to do it, so. There's been a motion made to move the question, in other words, take the vote. And it has to win by majority. I mean, by a majority vote. If it does, then we will then stop any kind of debate and we'll go right to the primary question and take the vote. So if you vote yes on this, it means you want to stop debate and you want to take and vote. If you vote no, that means you want to leave the debate open to continue on until there is no debate. But you understand that? Okay, that being said, all those in favor of the motion? All those opposed? Motion carries. So the debate is over. We're back to the primary motion and we're at $1,250. So if you want to give $1,250 to the Lake Association, then that's what you'll vote yes. If you do not want to do that, you'll vote no. We'll be back to the drawing board. So that being said, any further discussion on, we've already done that. Sorry about that. All those in favor
Of the 1250.
of the 1250, and keep your card up if you are. All those opposed, motion carries at 1250. Article 40, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the Canton Historical Society. Both the Budget Committee and the Select Board recommend $500.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded for $500, the recommended amount by both the Budget Committee and the Select Board. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 41, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the main veterans home. Right. Budget Committee and the Select Board both recommend $1,200. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second,
You get moved and second?
All of them.
Okay. So motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? We're taking and voting on $1,200 to go to the main veterans home. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Out of social services.
Article 42, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the scholarship fund, both the budget committee and the select board recommends $2,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carried. Article 43, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the operation of parks and trails. Both the select board and the budget committee recommend $1,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded at $1,000. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. 44, to see what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for reserve accounts. There is a difference in this, one here of $5,000. The budget committee recommends $125,000 and the select board recommends $120,000.
No, we recommend 10,000.
So on the sewer debt reserve, where the difference is, the select board recommend 10,000 on that, and the budget committee recommends 15, making those totals 125 for the budget committee, and the select board is 120. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for the selectmen's recommendation?
Second.
Moved and seconded for the selectmen's recommendation of 120,000. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. And these reserve balances, we just put some information, like.
Yeah.
On your agenda, you had your warrant, you had those reserve accounts that's in the. Article 45. See what sum, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the boat launch electrical. Both the select board and the budget committee recommend $600.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded for $600. Any discussion? Seeing none, all.
What is that?
Can I?
Is
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
Yeah, that covers the electrical fee. Yeah, yeah, and, yeah.
You okay? All set?
Okay.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the $600? Motion carried. Article 46, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $15,500 received from the town of Hartford for fire protection into the fire reserves account or take any action relative thereto. The total amount received from Hartford is $31,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded for $15,500 that was received. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 47. To see if the town will vote to appropriate all revenues received that are not dedicated or otherwise appropriated for other expenses to reduce the tax commitment.
So moved.
Second.
And those fees underneath are the ones that we're talking about, correct?
Yes.
On your warrant, you see a total of $216,050. That's the money they're talking about there. Just want to make sure everybody is all okay on that. So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 48, to see if the town will approve the purchase of a used fire truck partially funded by the fire department reserve account and partially funded by a loan or lease not to exceed a total cost of $300,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, it's been a motion for this, to moved and seconded to appropriate $300,000 for this article. Do I have any discussion?
What's the current balance in the fire department reserve account?
It's on the back, the preceding page.
I don't see it.
156, 7,950.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
How's that gonna go? Well, we talked briefly, that used truck, we got a couple of years ago, how that,
We bought 2 used ones and they're great.
Could you explain, Jason, what this is
So
for?
what I'm looking at, it's called a mini pumper, so it'd be on like a F-550 chassis, more like a pickup, I guess, heavy duty. And it's gonna replace the 2004 brush truck that we currently have and the 2000 Freightliner engines, that so we'll combine 2 trucks into one.
Any further discussion or questions?
Yes, this is kind of a grammatical question, but the total cost of the truck is 300,000 or less?
Correct.
Okay, so it's not the maximum lease. The way the sentence is written, it could be either the total amount of the truck or the total amount of the lease for one. That time it's not.
Yeah, but there's an and in there.
We didn't lease it, these are the other used trucks, all used that. All used for a
Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carried. Article 49. To see if the town will vote to combine the balances of the highway road reserve and the road maintenance reserve into one reserve account and rename it Highway Road Reserve.
So,
Moved. Seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? So moved. And,
second,
just before we take that motion to adjourn, I want to thank you for allowing me to, hold the meeting tonight, and I just want everybody here to know that the only foolish question, is a question not asked. Everybody that had questions, everybody that wanted to make a motion and stuff like that, that's what a town meeting is all about. That's what we come and you come together, you as a community, and you talk with each other and make these kind of decisions. And you walk out the door knowing that you're still friends, not fighting with each other, and you have a good night. Hopefully. Have a safe trip home. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
second,
Second.
All those in favor, get up and go home.
thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Dick.
No.